it's no good and you're in it benefiting and you think everybody should follow your role, it's not fair to the women who don't want to do it. Like Aaron said, she doesn't want to go back to a job where you're submitting to a boss and you're
Mm.
her or him for the 9 to 5 for a long time. And that job will never give you more fulfillment than your actual family. It's more so you're gonna you're gonna give more of a an idea of just money chasing, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad because why in the world would you want to you know what I'm saying, be in a position where you're stuck in yourself? It doesn't make any sense. So it's like your job is not going to give you more fulfillment. It's just a money
Oh,
maker, you know.
yeah. You're
Yeah,
basically saying money is more important, or I love money more than my children or my husband. That's at the end of the day, that's the difference
Yeah,
yeah.
that you're choosing.
it should be. So,
Yeah, because I don't like to push the idea that women make more money or more valuable. It doesn't make me want you for your money because like I
mm.
think women's value and money makes them more desirable. No. Aaron,
Uh,
yeah, go ahead.
like I can make a lot of money and lose it,
Yeah.
and um, I can, conquer the whole world. But if I fail my wife, my children, I failed miserably in life. You see, that's how we should measure the value of women. You see, these are the first societal problem God solved was loneliness. It is not good for man to be alone.
Yes.
And I'll make him a help meet for him. I'll make him a helper. You see,
Yes.
uh, you don't want to gain everything and lose the most precious things God gives. And this is it. You see, and my wife, she has more value than anything else. You only say that because you're broke. Well, maybe I am, but she still is. She still is valuable than anything else. So,
No,
yeah.
yeah, no, I really, really appreciate you guys sharing both of your views. It's just, it's not easy because, you know, for marriage in this time, it's like the most challenging thing people are not sure about still. It's like, well, you're gonna be 30 in a few years, or if you're 35 and up, you're still trying to debate marriage and you're almost 30 and you're already in your 30s. It's like, what are you fulfilling by what your life is showing you today? Are you looking at family and what are your expectations? Is it realistic? If it's not helping you get the husband, especially for our ladies, we have more women than men on the earth, right? If you're not finding that man that you're looking for, that you want, you might need to give up the dream. Do you think it's time for someone to give up the dream and just be realistic and just have realistic standards that they're looking for?
Well, sorry, what's the question?
Well, what do you think with women today is choosing for single to be waiting for so much for this dream guy? Do you think the dream is over, or do you think the dream is worth the wait to get older and later in life? And I think that's a problem. And what do you think?
What does dream means? Erin, hopefully, I'm sure she would say, I am the dream man. You see? Well, what?
Yeah, I mean, there was different things. Like me and Eddie have grown up in a very different sort of background where I love going swimming and skiing and all these outdoor things, and Eddie's never done that. So
Yeah.
when I was thinking about a future husband, I thought I would marry someone like me in that way. But my main thing was family vision has to be the same, and that he's a godly man,
Yes.
and that was the most important thing to me. And those things that I thought I needed, I don't need, and you know,
Yeah, and
it's
also us being different, colors and races, whatever you want to call it, interracial marriage.
Yeah.
Many people stick within their own culture, thinking, well, because it's just easier. I mean, I can understand that. You see?
yeah. I could have thought, no, I can't marry you. I've always thought of marrying a white guy.
Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes type. I could have said I wanted an African queen, which these are legitimate. These are legitimate concerns. You see?
Yeah.
For me, looking at all the criteria, Erin passed. She passed it with flying colors. She, like I wanted a woman like Proverbs 31, and every day I'm with her, I am, I am thankful to God because I have married a Proverbs 31 woman. Indeed, you see. So would I have overlooked that because my dream woman is an African queen or an Asian, what do you call the Asian ones?
Asian persuasion. Yeah.
Asian persuasion, or yellow fever, something.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
brown sugar, or you
Yeah.
see, this is a dream.
Yeah.
So look, um, what is she like? What character does she have? What other character does he have? Don't overlook these things because you have this dream with a guy. And also, look, work with him.
Yeah.
You see, do you want just something that's already made? You see, or work with him. You see, is he moldable? Is he ambitious? Is he aiming at something? You can work and help him out with. You see, people want to be perfect and get somebody that's perfect and put them in their lives. What about okay? Let's
Financially
start
stable.
financially stable. We hear it all the time. It's like, bro, you're gonna work at it. You're gonna work at it. You're gonna, be ambitious, both of you. There's a book here I read. This book I said about marriage. There's something that says make sure the thing that charms you is real. For your wife is yours until death. Make sure that the charm that you're charming, the butterflies you're having, whatever, it's not something flimsy because if it's flimsy, if something that comes today and goes tomorrow, you're gonna have a hard time because you can make it a lifetime commitment. You see, so don't have a dream um, which is more like which will turn to a nightmare ultimately. Have a dream that is healthy, is biblical. Um, it's going to take work, so you're willing to work with him. So this is the dream you should have, you see. But the problem is people want, I'm perfect, I put someone who's perfect with me. They're going to complete me, they're going to fulfill me. So how about you? What can you give to them? What can you give to them? Can you mold them? Can you help them? Can you motivate them? My wife, she motivates me all the time with her prayers, with her, of course, food, just her, her presence, her femininity. There are a lot of things that makes me want to work harder for them. You see?
So you say food. Miss Erin, do you make haggis for the Ireland people for his culture coming from there?
I've never made that.
You make
What?
haggis. That's
Yeah,
Scotland or the Ireland? That's Scotland, right?
Scottish.
Scottish.
The
There you
Ireland.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, you never. Okay, I'm
Love.
thinking I stay in Scotland. That's Scotland. That's their thing.
Yeah.
What is Ireland? What do you guys like to eat? I mean, I'm just curious.
We just eat everything the British eat, with some different ingredients. We're a copycat of the British, so
Okay.
nothing special. We have a
Got
chicken fillet roll. That one used to be cheap. They sell it around school.
you.
Uh, Everybody in high school, that's what we call it secondary school. You would chicken fillet roll on Tuesday afternoon. That's the pinnacle of Irish culinary.
Okay. I gotta look it
Apart
up.
from that, we pretty much shepherd's pie, Sunday rolls, Chinese,
Fish and
Indian,
chips.
fish and chips.
Fish
Yeah,
and chips. Oh yeah, you gotta have fish and chips. I'm hoping that's the case. Okay, let's get to the next question. I appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts. Okay, so with this next question I have for you guys. All right, how do you guys handle differences in your relationship regarding your faith, values, or practices? And what advice do you have for other couples facing similar challenges?
well, the husband must be the leader. I like to take the leadership role when it comes to uh, family worship, um, guiding my family through spiritual sort of uncertainties and theological concerns. I believe every man should be a priest of his own home. Should
Yes.
be, you see, stand up. You see, be well read, theologically be well read in many things. So you're able to guide your family. Now, I'm not saying that a woman can read more than you, but you should take that with I don't like using the word pride, but take it with make it of great value that
A
I want to leave
teacher.
my family, be a teacher.
Yeah.
So, but being that doesn't necessarily mean that you are now a bully. You see,
No, not a bully. Yeah.
you don't have to bully your wife to agree with you on everything, but teach them and also have an ear that's willing to listen. A lot of things that happened even during the pregnancy, a lot of the decisions we made, my wife would tell me, no, I want to like this, and I would, there was a bit of a clash there. And I took taking a moment, thought about it, and realized, she was right. You see, uh, an example I would give because this might be useful to many people. I'm African, Erin is European. Everybody is circumcised in my culture, and we had a son that all of a sudden, oh, what do we do? For me, it was just a given. He's going to be circumcised, of course. And for Erin, it's new because that's not something they do, and things like that. I won at the end. So, but it was a bit of a clash. But you kind of have to talk these things through, and you have to listen to them also.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, these are things that come, especially if interracial. I don't interracial, yeah, but intercultural relationship because I'm from Ireland, um, and she's from England. Even if I was from a different, same color as her, we will still have a difference in cultural clashes. So be open to talk and be open to learn, be open to listen. After you navigate these things, and as a man, you have to make decisions. So be ready to make these tough decisions if needs be. Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically what you said, to listen to one another, not to jump to conclusions, and not to have a contentious spirit or be angry at the other person if you don't agree with them. Um, because we're all sort of at different stages of life and our faith in the Lord. So it's important to remember that and respect one another, even if you don't agree. Don't make it a big deal because it's not really.
No, really.
But, um, and yeah, you can create problems if you're having an argument. Yeah, you don't want that.
So keep
The word I love, it's in Colossians chapter 3, verse 11, I think. It says, tender-hearted towards one another. I always tell Aaron, I love that word. That's my favorite word in the whole dictionary, in the whole Bible. Tender-hearted,
Mm.
tender-hearted towards one another. You see, we have that soft heart that's ready to forgive, that's ready to love, you know, yeah, tender-hearted. If any man has a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so do you. Our standard is Christ because Christ has forgiven us. We have that tender, soft heart towards one another. That's my advice I give to couples trying to navigate in tender-heartedness.
Yeah.
I mean, on couples, I'm like, you guys are fighting over petty things.
Petty, yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So this is how you navigate these things. Have a tender, soft heart that's molded by the grace of God.
Mm.
A heart that's forgiven is ready to forgive. He who is loved much, loveth much. To whom much is given, much is also required of.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, we're both sinners, and I'd want Eddie to forgive me, so I should forgive him.
Mm. Yes. If the Bible says in God's word, we read that says, not if, we read in the God's word saying, even though we don't have perfect love for the world, we have love for God, knowing we trust his word. So it says we have to understand forgiveness. Like God said, if we do not forgive others, he would not forgive us.
Yeah.
And we want that forgiveness to give to others, even if they harmed us, even if it's our loved ones. We got to forgive them and pray that the God we serve, they can reach their heart and soften their heart in areas where they may be struggling. They may have that forgiveness to understand, like, you know what, I understand, I forgive you, and I don't harbor unforgiveness because those harbor unforgiveness tends to leave situations where the devil can get a foothold in relationships, which is very common in most marriages, and it's sad because a lot of people go through that didn't expect that and didn't have that understanding. So I hope people can get a message out of this and hope you guys can reach somebody out there that's hearing this that got understanding. And before we get to the last question, I got three more videos we're gonna go through real quick and just be almost done. We'll have a few in clips and then we'll be out of here. You guys enjoy your evening. And see, we got Jada Bell. She's actually a great podcaster. She's on IG. She's definitely someone, ladies, I think should check out. Her perspective on marriage is pretty on point as far as I've seen. Very upfront about traditional. She formerly was a feminist. I interviewed somebody in the past that was a feminist as well. She just had her first child. Shout out to Sam and her husband. Definitely appreciate them coming on in the past, but let's check out Jada, what she has to say.
Was a hardcore feminist, didn't believe in gender roles. The union of marriage was more supposed to be a partnership to me. We were very unequally yoked. There were just a lot of challenges, and I went through a year-long separation from my husband after 2 years where I went in to therapy and got some help, and I learned I had BPD. And I came across your video, and I was by myself. Me and my husband weren't together. And you were specifically, it was a video where you said, I submit to you in every aspect. Mm-hmm. And I take your shoes off when you get home from work. You said, I cook, I clean, and I call you yes, sir, and no, sir. And you were so happy. Like, you were genuinely so happy, and you guys were so in love. And I just watched that. I said, I want this. Like, I don't know how to be this woman. Like, I'm so conditioned through social media, through how I was raised to not be like that in any way.
All right. So first thing, let's ask your thoughts. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to, that is the default setting to be a feminist.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think even so many Christian women, though they wouldn't call themselves feminists, it's just sort of embedded in them just by society.
Yes.
To serve somebody is considered slavery. So for her, serving her husband is seen as, no, it's about me, you're meant to serve me. You see? So her learning that whoa, I can see it from other people. So look, we the world is influencing people out there in the negatives. We also have to go out and influence people with the positive. We have the truth. Christians have the truth.
Yes.
It's something we have. God revealed it to us.
Yeah.
Okay? We shouldn't be ashamed of it.
Yeah,
You see,
no.
and we have people who don't have the truth to go and talk as if they have the truth. They don't. We have the truth.
We should be as noisy as the feminists.
We should be noisy because we have the truth. Nobody gets light and puts it under a bushel. Nobody gets light put it under a table or under a bed. Right. Let your light shine before men. They should see our good works and glorify our Father who is in heaven. Let's shine. Let's shine. People are going to be influenced, like this lady was influenced. So that's an encouragement to all of us that, hey, we got something to do. You see? We got something to do because we got the truth. And people need this truth. They need this truth. They need to hear the gospel of Christ. They need to see us live this truth. And we're not going to change the world by being like them. Let's stand with the truth. Let's stand with the gospel. And people like her will be blessed and lives will be changed.
Absolutely. Yeah, appreciate the insight, guys. Definitely good insight, what you guys saying. Yeah, Jada's definitely influence of what they're showing, that they want that life. They want to be a wife in the way they're seeing it because they probably didn't see it growing up. And with her speaking like that on her podcast, I support her. And like I said, her Instagram is pretty much everyday updates. So definitely, guys, check her out. She's really good. Here's another clip I want your thoughts on, just see what you guys think. It's really good. I think you definitely see some insight on this.
Sometimes they do. I think sometimes they do.
Yeah. Heard a little bit about the Kirk Franklin, Cam Newton interview of this same concept that the church is weaponizing marriage and weaponizing it against single people. Tell me what you think.
That, if you're not married, then you can't hold certain positions in the church and you can't do certain things in the church, and maybe your worship is not on the same level as a worship and praise and faith of somebody that's married. Didn't the Bible say that it's good to be single? I think sometimes they do.
Okay. I know he's talking about singles, but his thoughts are just basically saying someone said that basically being single in the church is more of a blessing. But let's talk about this and just get the context from them exactly. But do you think the problem being single for too long, is there a thing you believe that's there for that?
Well, what the man there is referencing is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Okay, I'm just gonna read the beginning of that chapter. Okay, so to give you guys some context, some people who are listening, it's probably the most misused chapter concerning love, dating, sex, singleness. It's just misused. Okay, so 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1, it says, "Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So Paul here is replying to the Corinthian church some questions they asked him. He says, "Now consider the things whereof ye wrote unto me." We don't know what the Corinthian church wrote to Paul, but we can tell from Paul's answers or the things he dealt with in this chapter what he was concerned about or what they were concerned about, and he's concerned about them. You see, so if you read Acts chapter 18, it talks about the Corinthian church being persecuted. If you jump down this chapter, verse 26, it says, "I think this is good for this present time." Okay, so it means that it was for the present time, the persecution they were going through. Some things some measures were to be taken. Now, I had to kind of clarify that because people always misuse this chapter, some of the verses, to make it seem like it's for everybody. No, the commandment.
No freeze.
Hello?
Good. It's still good.
Yeah, you're good. The
Yeah.
commandment for everybody is that be fruitful and multiply. Okay, there's exceptions, you see, but the general rule is be fruitful and multiply. Now, it's good to be married, and we should encourage young people to be married. Now, there's ways we can make it so that it doesn't help them. But the idea is, how do I help a young man to be marriage ready? You teach the young man the Bible. You encourage him to find a job. You encourage him to be a man, to be able to lead spiritually. That's how you encourage people to get married. We don't just put people together, incompetent people. No, let's make competent young men and young women who are able to raise godly families for the generations to come. That's how you encourage them. Let's be active in our encouragement. Let's just be judgmental, criticizing in our encouragement. You see, in that sense. So yeah, marriage is great. We should encourage every young man and every young woman to get married. But there's ways to do it. Bring me to the river, teach me how to fish. You see, teach me how do you do this. Sometimes I just need that help. I think especially the older men should take some young men who don't have parents or so forth under their wings, teach them the Bible, teach them teach them about taxes, teach them about financial literacy.
Yeah.
How do you save? How do you budget? How do you deal with administration stuff? This is how you make. A lot of people are realizing things when they get married. How do you know you have to do this? Well, there you go. What does gross mean? These are the things where we need to teach our young people. That's how we prepare them for marriage. Not just criticizing them. Oh, you're useless. Oh, you're this. So in that sense, yeah, there's ways of doing things, and I believe we can always improve to how to prepare our young people for marriage.
True. That's true. Very good information to know. I thank you for that, Eddie. It's just we got to bring these conversations up front more because we need to have that talk. And
yeah.
With your experience and being married, of course, to Aaron, you two are setting a standard that you both follow that's biblical. And of course, it's not impossible, but it's possible, and it's a high probable chance you'll find somebody on the same page versus I call it hyper independence because you stay so single to the point where no one can meet your standard. It's like, what are you looking for that is actually worth waiting for? It's like, yeah, it's like a unicorn chasing in the dark.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I think we just really got to find the foundation in God who was on the same page versus you got to be this tall, you got to be this, you got to make this. Because at the end of the day, if that person loses those things, which is the material side, would you still be with them? And I'm pretty sure if Erin was here, she would say maybe if she would speak on for her behalf, would she think that'd be the only thing she'll stay for? It's just the financial, because that's not really the main thing in marriage, It's just not.
No, you have a goal together. Finances is important, but the goal, mission you have together is more important. There will be setbacks. You might lose everything, but with a work ethic, with perseverance, a bit of determination, good woman by your side, you'll pick yourself up and get it right. So yeah.
That makes sense. I agree. Totally agree with that. Thank you. All right. I know we talked about this earlier before we started the show, and I want to get clarity because we have a phenomenon right now. We're dealing with a lot of people who are not sure about this lifestyle change if they're married and they're Christians. I've talked to some about this, and some are still on the fence. homeschool is a conversation that's coming up now, and I want to
Yeah.
share this clip and just like two more because the traditional values go to this too, and many don't understand. There's more men going to speak like this who want this in a marriage with their
Mm.
spouse, and I think
Mm.
guys who want this should understand. Bring these conversation up because you don't want to you don't have miscommunication about what you see for a family. If they don't want that, I think you should not force it on any woman. Let them know if they see that for the future. If they don't want that, you probably should stop wasting your time and let
Mm.
them. If homeschool is not for them, that's fine because that goes with traditional values and the family
Yeah.
want to keep it at home and also building them up in Christian values, but also education. And it's not impossible. Here's a little
Yeah.
clip.
Wow. So what is it like being out in public right now? Does it freak you out at all? So I'm guessing you don't have basic skills like, writing or you were homeschooled? Wow. So what is it like being out in public right now? Does it freak you out at all? So I'm guessing you don't have basic skills like, writing or spelling or math. I could tell you were a homeschooler because you're like extremely awkward and weird. No offense.
It's always no offense. We just definitely knew. Somebody commented and said, whenever they act like I'm dumb, I just remind them that I graduated at 14 because I was bored of school. Same. You just waste time sitting there for all those years. Just get it done. Somebody else said, because literally all homeschoolers are socially awkward. And the guy who made the video said, sorry, I can't talk to strangers.
Hi, how are you?
People ask me if I have social problems. And it's like my entire career is public facing and revolves around talking to people. So no, I don't think I have social problems. Thanks, though.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. The training of the children is a parental duty. So the parent ought to take it upon themselves to educate their children, make sure that they are trained. So not some stranger out there. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, it says, "You parents, bring them up in the admonition of the Lord." Bring up the children in the admonition of the Lord. If some pink-haired, blue-haired, purple-haired,
Yes.
feminine,
Yeah,
angry woman teaching your children about how to hate your God, hate your parents, hate everything you stand for, that's not true. That's you. That's sin. You're disobeying God. You see, the main goal is raising your children the godly way. And it's a sin that many parents will have to answer before the Lord. We are willing to homeschool, or we will, the baby's still young now, but our aim is to homeschool our baby. And the aim is that I give them the skills and tools that they need to face the world. And I believe every parent should take that very, very seriously.
And that question for my personal question, do you because I know people ask me this question as well. I always tell them homeschool should be K through 12, which is an American standard for school, kindergarten through 12th grade, which is K through sixth grade through eighth is middle school, and then eighth grade goes to ninth grade, that's ninth grade through 12th, that's high school. I believe K through 12 all the way through. And then college, they finish college at a younger age because they'll get more scholarship opportunities, they'll get more benefits of being closer to their families instead of being trying to be on this own journey independence without father and mother knowledge, instead of the world influence of trying to tell them how to be a certain way. I think those are the really big questions people don't ask. But what do you think about the years through kindergarten through 12th grade? Would that be your goal initially through those years, and that be your main years?
I don't know how we don't break it down like that. What's kindergarten, like what, age 3?
It's like yeah, around 3, the infant stage, elementary.
Yeah. Whenever, because I'm in France, they have the way they break down. It's like, wait, what? They break down the years. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Don't know what I'm talking about. But the first few years, especially for men, first 6 years for boys,
Yeah.
I believe it's important they have their mom a lot. And then after age 6, now becoming boys, rather just baby, young, so you train them to be men. So the fathers need to be involved in their lives. So I don't know what's 6, what's K, what So in America, Americans can probably figure it out. So in that sense, that's how I would sort of break it. That you gotta be involved in your children's lives. The problem with a lot of young men is they never had anybody tell them no. You see, to stand up, tell them, they learn authority. They learn, okay, I need to be under somebody. We need men who are able to say no to their children and tell them, no, this is not the way. Lead them, teach them how to be a sensible human being.
Yes.
I was walking. I saw the other day a young man with this older guy who the older guy looks like he could crush the guy with his thing, but he somehow in his head, playing too much video games, he thought he could take on this bigger man. I just thought this guy clearly never had a man in his life to tell him no. You see, and he thinks he can stand up to this guy. Maybe he's never been slapped before. Maybe a good slap. I'm not condoning violence. Maybe a good slap would straighten him up. You see,
Yeah.
just put him straight.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of young men who never face authority and they grow up, disobeying the
Hit
law.
boys, girls hit boys, not girls. Guys out there are freaking
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. So parents need to be involved in your children's education. Don't mitigate it to somebody else because you want to make more money, because you want to do this, you want to do that. Be there for your children. It's important, and you will face God one day for the sin of neglecting your own children. So.
Yeah, it reflects, and that's a big deal. Body Bachman spoke on this in the past when he's actually come back to America he's living in Zambia. He's coming
Yeah,
back.
it's coming back soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, hopefully it's because he's seeing the things changing. Maybe it's for his personal reasons or family reasons.
I know he had, health issues
Oh,
not too long, but 2 or 3 years ago, very, very serious ones. So it might be just taking a toll on him.
hopefully that's not the
I don't
case.
know. I don't know.
Not only was
Yeah, we'll definitely see. We'll see what he says coming back. Let's check out this clip.
we avoid unbiblical influence, we must avoid unbiblical teaching. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not be conformed to this world. The ultimate act of being conformed to anything is the education process. In kindergarten through 12th grade, a child spends 14,000 instructional hours in school. 14,000 hours being conformed to this world. 2 Corinthians 10:5, we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive to obey Christ. Every thoughts about math, thoughts about science, thoughts about history, every thought, take every thought captive to obey Christ.
Yeah. And here's one more because I think that's his recent. But in the past, he's been on this for years. He never changed. Let me go to his clips. I don't want nobody flagging me for their videos on their page.
He who controls the schools controls the world. A fact that unfortunately gets by many of us in the Christian community. The overwhelming majority of the Christian community makes the exact same educational choice. 90% of Christians allow our government to educate their children. We are losing somewhere between 70 and 88% of our children by the end of their freshman year in college. Somewhere between 70 and 88% of them have nothing to do with spiritual things by the end of their freshman year in college. Now, let me give you the easy answer before we go into a more detailed answer. The easy answer is this. If we continue to send our children to Caesar for their education, we need to stop being surprised when they come home as Romans. You control.
Yeah. So first clip, that one we saw before we go to this one. Second one we just watched. What do you think about the first one?
Yeah, like you said about the hours,
Like 100, like that
formative
10,000,
years.
100,000. Yeah.
These are precious hours.
Yes.
So we moved the money from home, which has been detrimental. So now we have to the children are just being babysitted by some other people because parents need to make money. We've destroyed our economies, so both parents now have to work. So we put our children in education, this public schools to get indoctrinated by the world. Look, somebody's going to indoctrinate your children. I would like that person to be me. You see, that's a bit of an advertisement for my T-shirt, which the link should be below. Buy it. It's called "Indoctrinating my family with dangerous religious views." So I had to be indoctrinating my children. I don't want the state to do it. See, they think that's ungodly. I don't want them to indoctrinate my children. So he's absolutely right. He's spot on. Of course, as always, the body.
Yeah, Body is definitely still the great he's not just great, but he's still on the same path. He never changed from what I've studied over the years. I know we have a lot of there's been a lot of American pastors having scandals come up that's been really shocking.
Mm.
From John MacArthur to what TD Jakes, which I don't really follow him at all. I kind of listen more to John MacArthur more than TD Jakes because he was more biblical and stuff.
MacArthur had a scandal.
Huh?
MacArthur had a scandal.
Yeah, it was crazy. It came out recently. I'll just send it to you. It's bad. And
Are
it's
you sure you're
because
not talking about Stephen Lawson?
yeah, him too. Yeah, both of them. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. Look, that's
I'll send it to you. We won't talk about it here, but
yeah.
we'll give it a link. I'll send it to you. Because there's so many pastors in America coming to this compromise. I don't know what happened to
Mm.
John MacArthur because I haven't studied it yet, but Stephen Lawson, yeah, it's unfortunate. And then there's others I can name all, but it's just too many. But yeah, we need to conversate more about this with men of God who are future for their families of the family, the wife and children, understanding how to set the dynamic in the home so the wife can have secure based on standards of godly principles because God will bless the family dynamic that is the father, the mother, and the wife, and also the children because God is the head over Christ and we follow Christ to follow God. So as long as we understand the order, he will bless us if we're doing it his way, which is the dynamic he always wanted for us. And with so many people in the society I've studied who don't want that, it's easy to pick out who don't want to be a future family. It's like you either choosing God's way or the destruction, which is Satan, of course, because his way is broad way. The narrow path will be small for many who don't want it, and that's why we choose to talk about these things because your podcast as well. We'll see your conversations as well as like this, and more so supporting it because I want to give you guys more viewers from where I'm at and just grow you as well because I'm kind of still new, but not so new, but I want to give you guys that push that you need to get people to follow you guys. And you guys subscribe to this channel. I'll put the link in my show notes. Be sure to check them out.
Mm.
And let's go to the next one. This is a lady in Britain that these are the British side. We're done with the American side. We're going to talk about Britain because they have a lot of things with the conversation like we have in America. And here's one thing: there's this view that we're seeing from them to believe modernism is owned by traditional wife, but this is a woman that talks to a modern woman about traditionalism. So let's check it out real quick.
Women like Lizzo are literally showing, okay, well, I'm fat and I'm all of this. This is the beauty standards out there. I'm not going to let my body stop me. I'm going to be wearing this, the same thing that every guy thinks is hot.
Why is it the men? Why is it the men promoting it? No man's making her go out there.
No.
She's trying to set those standards and stupid people are following her. And then they're going to turn around and say, oh, it's self-love. Obesity is self-love all of a sudden. And that's what she's promoting. But it's a man's,
No,
it's a
it's
man's
released.
fault.
Using the cuss. This is like you think the traditional vote will be not the case. All right, so this video instead, we'll go to this instead and listen, so we don't have no feedback from that. This is another one instead. Flagged. Let's get this. So this is the myth they're telling us that how would they socialize? See, and this is the myth of homeschooling that they won't be around kids that like themselves, their events. I mean, there's comments saying after being homeschooled for about 4 years, and then I tried going back to normal school and couldn't fit in nowhere. Now I dropped out of my senior year and don't do any extracurricular activities anymore. I'm particularly the embodiment of the homeschool antisocial stereotype.
Mm.
So, I mean, first of all, it's just that's not socializing. But here, the thing about homeschooling, people misunderstanding, they think they don't have no place to go conversate and congregate with other people. And I just want to give you quick thoughts on this, and we'll move to the next video. Quick thoughts on this real quick.
No, people are scared of things they don't know. They think because things have always been done a certain way, if we try to think outside the box or try to improve it, it's fear of, a lot of times the fear of improvement. Mediocrity can be just, well, it just works. It's like, it just works. No, let's put in some work. Let's try to do things differently. Let's be creative. If you put your children out there, if they decide this, that for them, everything is chained up. You don't have to do anything. It's simple. It's easy. But if you have to think about it, you have to be thoughtful about how to get them doing activity. It takes a bit of work,
Yeah.
and yeah, people are uncomfortable with change and thinking outside the box. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I can. My church back in Ireland, almost every child there was homeschooled, and they were not what people think they were. They were sociable. They spoke really, really well.
Yeah.
It's a myth. Well, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen what you guys say. So
American problem. That's how they think here. And I'm just tired of it myself. Aaron, any thoughts or any concerns about this? What's your thoughts?
No, I agree.
You agree? Awesome.
there isn't much to say apart from look, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a bit. You got to think outside the box to get your children doing things, but it's lazy parenting is a pandemic.
Thank you. It's a pandemic and lazy.
Parenting is a pandemic. We want everything easy, everything done for us.
Yes.
Give the iPad to the baby, you see, so you can do other things. It was on the news. Yeah, exactly. It was on the news a few years ago where a mother, it's probably unfortunately probably common, gave some sleeping pills to the baby so she can go out to a nightclub, and she came back. The baby children were dead. I think she got done for manslaughter, something like that, involuntary manslaughter.
Wow.
But the thing is, I want to do something. Children are a burden. That's how a lot of parents treat the education of their children. Let's put them in school. We don't really care. They come back. You see, no, be intentional about educating your children. Put in the work. It's going to take work. You put in the work, and your children are going to have a better education than what the school can provide for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, last one. Aaron, I think you should check this out. What's your thoughts on this?
A peace offering. See what I did there? Today I used my special recipe cards. My husband doesn't like when I use text, so I used the FontSart app to type the recipes in my own handwriting. I found it in the App Store. How nifty! But remember, this stays between you and me. I think this pie and I have a lot in common because it's homemade and I'm a homemade. But if we're being honest, submitting to your husband's rulebook really is easy as pie. This is my homestead's famous pecan pie recipe. Now this pie is only for
I was curious to show this video because the way she's presenting, that is not how traditional women usually act. And this mindset is from a fantasy. They're looking at it from the outside and looking in like this is how you carry yourself. Now, Aaron, is this how you would think? This is how you would be seen as portrayed as? It's cringe, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, it's very cringe. I don't really have anything good to say about the way that she's presenting. I think just the way she's talking. I don't know if it's real or fake, but
it sounds fake.
Well, I don't expect our enemies to speak kindly of us.
Yeah, expect that.
I don't expect that. So it's like, well, let them mock. See, let them mock. Hey, look, if it's a bit of a joke, so be it. There are many child wives online. They dress up and so forth and do things like that. So I can see the humor in that. I just don't find it.
Yeah, very, very American. I'll say that's what we do here the most. We've had the most influence online, but it's not really here that much as I've seen it, if I'm being honest. Being at 32 years in this country, it's really out of control in most cases that I thought it would never get this far, but it's really getting really worse. But we'll pray for the country. We'll pray for everybody's country going through the same.
Yeah. America has so much potential. If America,
yeah, so much.
America, my Bible I ordered for America. I mean, most of the theologians, a lot of the theologians are here. A lot of them are English, of course, but a lot of them are American also.
Exactly.
A lot of the writers are here. So America still has a lot of potential. You guys need to wake up, though.
They have to all wake up. I'm already awake. I'm not.
Good. You're awake. You're not woke.
I'm awake. I'm not woke. The last question, guys, and we'll end it. You guys for the rest of your evening in France. Looking back, how has your relationship grown and how has the church community supported or influenced that growth?
Many people giving us advice on many things. It's good. It's always welcomed. Whenever somebody gives you advice, take it. You might not necessarily agree with it, take it, but people have encouraged us, prayed for us, helped us in many ways. So that's, people just been giving us a word of advice, especially with the baby and all these things. So we're grateful for, I say, surround yourself with good people. And we're grateful for their inputs, which has really, truly helped us. What do you say?
Yeah, we're grown and learned a lot, especially probably myself, because I'm quite a bit younger than Eddie. And yeah, I think I've matured over this year, just being married and yeah, independent, like in our own family units. So, yeah, it's been good to see.
Yeah, I think especially the way we have an age gap. Yeah, I've lived a bit before I met my wife, so I know a thing or two. So you gotta be patient with her, teach her. A lot of things she knows now, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue at 23.
Yeah.
You see, so that's the beauty of it. So I'm patient with her because I didn't know all these things. At least she knows better than me. I'm still young or still growing. So there is certainly plenty of growth. I've seen it in her whole own life. I got plenty of growth to do myself, and she has too. I think that's important.
Yeah.
That's important that you feel like I got things to do. I still got work to do. It keeps you moving, keeps you ticking, keeps you reading, keeps you researching, keeps you growing. When you think that you've reached the pinnacle, the only way is down. So yeah.
That makes sense. I like that. Guys, good answer. All right, y'all, but thank you for coming on this podcast. I know it's been like a good 2 hours. I keep track, so we'll keep on schedule. But we're gonna have this guys come to another episode in the future, hopefully. And you guys please check out your podcast. What do you guys can be found? What's your socials they can find you at, or your way they can reach out to you on your podcast?
So I'm the online face of the family. I have a Twitter account. Find me at Eddie Ekofo. That's an X, formerly known as Twitter. Or you can find me on Instagram, Eddie_Ekofo. We have a new YouTube channel which is only out a few days. It's called Tribe Life in a Modern World. In a modern world?
In a modern.
Yeah, Tribe Life in the Modern World. The links should be below. Moses will get you there. We have a business which we launched this week as well. This week. So you see, this week has been busy. The past few days have been busy. We've been doing a lot of things. We launched a business, print on demand business. Support us. It's encouraging. Tribe aesthetics, tribe mindset. Tribe is just a word we use, but it's biblical. The biblical life. You see, so we call it Tribe Print. The link should be below. Leave us a review on Etsy, print on demand shirt, and buy some things. Christmas is coming.
Awesome, definitely. And then
coming, get yourself a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, all right.
That's where you find this. Link should be there below. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. Ask me questions if I have time. Hopefully, I'll answer back. Yeah.
Definitely, please check them out and follow them and YouTube, subscribe and like their videos and comment your thoughts. Give them thumbs up or thumbs down to get the algorithm for them to get found because they're a new channel. And also Instagram is also there for Eddie. He's the face of the family, and X as well, formerly Twitter. Just get him a follow and check him out. The brother has a great voice. Of course, his wife is always supporting him. So shout out to Aaron for being the supporter of the family and the cheerleader for her husband. That it is like the most important thing you need is a supportive spouse who's gonna have your back through it all and also understand the times we're in and just being supportive. Thank you, Aaron, for Eddie bringing them on with you, and also Eddie bringing your wife with you. You both are a couple. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I definitely hope to get you guys in the future for episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next episode. Guys, at Good Company Podcast, we want to say thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Hope to catch you guys in the next episode. You guys have a blessed one. Thank you again for coming on. Have a great day.
Thank you.